the next thing I want to do is take a look at the Actions feature in Tableau. This is a feature that allows you to link different worksheets interactively. So let's go take a look at how this is done. So I'm going to start with my Tableau interface. I'm going to go to connect to data, and the data file I'm going to use this time is something called Tableau 3 truck sales. We've used Tableau 2 truck sales. Now we're going to use a file called Tableau 3 truck sales, and that is available to you in iLearn. So when I click on the spreadsheet, I'm going to get my sales here, my Tableau 3 truck sales spreadsheet, and I'm going to start creating a file for this. So when I click on it, I've got my audited, whether or not things have been audited, the dealership, the state, the region. What I don't have is annual sales. I'm going to have to create that. And if you remember, to create that, we go under Analysis, we click on Create Calculated Field, and it's going to give us this box. I'm going to call this Annual Sales. But what I'm going to do is now, instead of create this on screen, I'm going to pause this and create it and then come back to it just to save time. So I now have my formula. I click OK, and it's going to create my annual sales. So now what I can do is I can create a worksheet. It's going to be for each region. I want to know the annual sales, and there it is. I'm going to actually make region colorful because I like colors, and I'm going to rename this worksheet. I'm going to call this worksheet. I'm going to call this annual sales or regional sales. So I've got that. It's now called regional sales. That tab is there. Next thing I'm going to do is create an additional sheet. So I'm going to add a worksheet down here, and I will create a worksheet now where I'm going to do region, but for each region I want to know what the sales are by state, and here's my annual sales. I'm going to also give state its own color. So I've got different color for each state now. So I'll save that. I'm going to call that, right click, rename. I'm going to call that state sales. And finally, I'm going to create a third one because I like this dealership. And I'm going to go add a worksheet. I'm going to do region, state, and dealership. What happened to state there? Let's put it back up there. I'm going to move dealership over here. I'm going to give all these colors. Oops, they didn't all go, did they? So what I'm going to do now is I've got those. I've got to add my annual sales up there. So now what I can do, I can go back to my original. I'm going to rename that, by the way, and call that dealership sales. Once I have that there, I'm now going to go and use actions. So I'm going to go back to the original. You notice I can click on any one of these, right, and highlight any one of these I want to, and it gives me some interesting information. However, I'd like to be able to drill down. So now that I've got my worksheets created, I can go up and click on Worksheet and go to this thing called Actions. It's going to open a window. I want to create a new action. What I want to do is I want to make this my source sheet. So I'm going to click on Filter, and I'm going to make regional sales my source sheet, and I want it to be able to drill down to state sales. So I'm going to go down, I'm going to drill down to state sales, right? And I'm going to use, now I got three options over here. Let's just leave it the way it is and see what happens. So we'll click on OK. We'll click on OK. So now I've got, by the way, if you click over in this blank area, it'll take everything back after you've selected something. So now what I want to do is I want to see what happens if I click on, say, the central region. It's going to give me, it's going to highlight, it's going to give me this information, right? That's really not very useful to me. So let's go back and edit that action to see if we can't make it more useful. So we're going to go click on it. We can edit that. And this time what I'm going to do is, you see these three options right here, run action on. We're going to run it on selecting one of ours. Okay. So we're going to select it. We're going to say OK. We're going to say OK. Now when I click on central region, watch what happens. I get all the states in that region. If I go back to regional sales, I can click on Northeast and I get all this in the Northeast. I can click on Southeast and I get all of the states in the Southeast and their sales. So that's very useful to me. It's nice and fun. I can drill down. But what if I want to drill down to within a state to find out what the what dealerships did in each of those states? So if I click on Tennessee, I get nothing right now. So if I go back into this worksheet, actions, I'm going to create a new action. It's going to be on the filter. I'm going to use, this time I'm going to use state sales as my source, and I'm going to change this to dealership sales for my target. Again, I'm going to use select, and I'm going to say OK. So now, and OK again. So now, when I go to regional sales, I can click on the Southeast, for example. Whoops. I can click on the Southeast. It's going to take me to the Southeast sales. If I want to know what happened in Tennessee, I can click on Tennessee, and there's my dealerships in Tennessee. If I go back one sheet, I can click on say Mississippi, and I can get my dealerships in Mississippi. If I go to Georgia, I can click and get my dealerships in Georgia. So I can drill down, and I can set this up so that anytime I change my database, if I'm using the live feature, my drill down results will look different. So this is a neat tool if you're trying to link things together. Now let's go back and see what happens if we re-edit this. And there's another feature in here I wanted you to see, just so you can see what happens. So again, we click on this, we go down to actions and click on it. It's going to open up our actions dialog box. I'm going to go to filter 1, and I'm going to select that, and I'm going to edit it. Remember, we had these three choices over here. We all saw the menu, we saw the select. What we have not seen is what happens if you do hover. Well, you can imagine what this is going to do is we're going to change this, that when we just hover over one of the bars, it will take us to our deeper detail. So I will save this OK. OK. Now, when I go to my region, if I just go up here and just hover on that, oh, it takes me right to it. I go back. Whoops. You got to be careful with hover, because if you cross over one of the colors, it's going to give you what the first one it comes to. So if I want to go to region, I got to go up above. There's the Southeast region. Regional sales. If I go up here and then go down to that actually gave me the central, because I went down too quick. That's why I'm not real thrilled with using the hover, but it is a feature if you want to use it. So what we have is we've learned now how to link different sheets, different worksheets together. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to spend a couple of short lectures on learning how to build a dashboard.